What if the most valuable things in life, money, status, happiness, should never be directly chased? Mere Mortalites, welcome back to another edition of the Mere Mortals Effective Philosophy. I haven't done one of these in a little while, and man, I've been looking to get back into doing so. So today we have generators versus trophies. This might be at the outset a pretty simple concept, and to be honest, it probably is. But it's something that I wanted to explore a little bit further. I've got some personal stories that I'll actually start off with right at the beginning to give you an idea, because just like probably you listening to this right now, I had very much different mentalities versus the trophies and the generators. Maybe I didn't spot it back in the day of exactly what that would look like. And so I kind of wanted to describe it to people and maybe what you might be able to do out there as well. And again, if I think about it this way, I'm trying to describe something or a philosophy that I might in the future describe to my own kids when they're a little bit older to describe it. It could be to someone else. And again, if it helps you or helps you be alert to them as well, then by all means, fantastic. It's an awesome, effective philosophy to have in mind. So, generators versus trophies. Let me give you a little bit of a backstory. So, it was 27 years old. So, in 2019, I've done my annual goals and monthly goals now for quite a few years. You can go back to the Mere Immortal stuff and you can see all the stuff that we've documented for a long time. So obviously, personally, I've got even more data that I've never shared. And there was two particular goals for my 27-year-old goals in 2019 that I listed, and I want to read them out. One being there was a second goal and the third goal. And the second goal was I want to reach $1 million in assets. That's right. $1 million in assets. And goal number three was to reach an $8,500 per month gross income. So there you have assets in terms of a number. Then you've got a kind of a servicing value of $8,500 per month gross income. This is in Australian dollars. And those were my goals that I set at 27 years old, or for in the 2019 period. Now, so I hadn't actually achieved those things. Those are the things that I was aiming for, right? And in the concept, I won't, hide as we talk it through. This is what I would guess I would call as trophies, right? That's a direct setup of a goal of I want to reach that particular trophy, if you will. And a trophy, while again, might be important for me and not for you, or it might change as you go older in life. It just is what it is, was what it was. I wanted to achieve that and accomplish that. Now, behind that kind of direct quantitative number, there would underlie then the breakdown of my monthly goals and what are the things and the processes that I was going to actually go and do and pursue and do the various activities. And it worked out okay. And it worked out only okay because the underlying actions and activities that I was doing were the generators to accomplish the trophy, right? So what I'm saying here is, if I look back and in hindsight, could I have done it a little bit better and maybe focusing even more on what I'll talk about as being the generators? Maybe. But you also have to kind of have a goal in sight or an idea of what you're aiming for, and then break it down and focus exclusively on the things that are going to generate that, independent of what the output might be or the outcomes that come out of it. So, for me personally, I was doing that and then multiply that on all other facets of life, where it was lifting or running or a certain speed or finding a partner, all those various things. I had a particular quantitative type of trophy style goals that I would set up. And then I'd have to kind of work backwards and get the generators, aka the actions, the activities that I needed to do to accomplish that. Now, if I look at today, in comparison to those sort of goals that I would set up, rather than focusing in, and still important to know where you're wanting to get to at a certain timeline, you got to aim for something. But I would have put less of a focus on that particular trophy being achieved, and instead then gone even double it up, triple it up, 10x that, focus on the generators, the things that actually make the important changes in this particular definition. So, a couple of examples of what the trophies were, or would generally be described as things like fame or happiness, money, love. Now, all of those things actually ensue by the byproducts, which is the generators, the real stuff, which is telling the truth, providing value, training, progressing, sleeping well, reading, building, teaching, keeping your promises. All of these are the actions, the generators that will help ensue all of these various other things of love and happiness and money. Because again, you think about providing value to individuals or a group of individuals or a niche or a category. Through that, you are going to get in return various things. It could be fame, it could give you money, it could be success, it could be a deep level of commitment that you achieved something, and so in return you feel quite good on that side. Generators, actions, I guess interchangeable, that particular commentary. But as I've gotten older and seeing the experience directly at hand with goals, is it kind of it becomes almost immaterial, not completely, silch, don't care about trophies. Let's just not say that, because trophies can be important and they can help show progress, but very much the end all be all. And it is the generators, habits, actions, processes that you put in place that are going to be the dominant thing that actually helps you not just achieve them, but actually have that underlying success feeling, right? And it's that successful of you're doing something, the action that both what you're thinking and doing, and that's kind of in line, gives you that feeling of power, as some might say. Power is how well you can think of something and actually put it into action in the world. The aspects of success, so feeling good about yourself doing something, also comes from these generators or the actions that lie behind it. So I thought, I really wanted to put together what is like, and I've seen it before, what's an equation? What does that actually look like if I was to sequence it out? And again, trying to explain to my 27-year-old self or my kids coming up or someone else that's listening to this. And what I ended up going to is the byproduct, which again, it's the happiness, the money, the status. How does that actually achieved? Well, it's a function of a generator, so an action, a habit. Pick whatever you want. And again, let's talk about one of my goals back in the day: reach $8,500 per month of income, right, wherever that was coming from. And so I might go that a generator for that particular thing would be, what I'm going to give great value to communities in South Logan who care about pet services, right? Just picking out a random, I didn't do that, but let's just say I did that. Okay, well, there's going to be a habit, an action, something that helps them provide value. Again, that might be a service, that might be information, whatever. So pick that generator, your action, your habit. Cool. You got it locked in. So you've got what is the thing, multiply that by your consistency or the cadence, you can call it as well. So how consistent are you in that particular habit? Usually, the case, it happens to me a lot actually. So if it happens to me a lot, probably happens to you a lot as well, is that I'll do it for a defined period of time that I feel I'm doing something like a habit, but I don't stick it out to the length that it's needed to actually bring the byproduct that you're wanting. Usually it's because I'm not focused enough. I've got red dress symptom where I'm just having a look at other things that are really quite interesting and going ahead and doing them and forgetting it. So another aspect of achieving those byproducts that you might want is consistency, right? So it's multiplied by the amount of consistency that you have. And then it's a time, right? It's so soon. It's how consistent can you be? And that's when I pick a domain of a week or a month or whatever. And then how much time can you process to that, right? So it's an action or a habit. So the generator by the consistency. How consistent are you that you're presenting yourself forward with whatever opportunity, action, habit that you're doing, and multiply it by time. It just takes time. If I go back to, 27-year-old self, when I wrote those two trophies, right, in terms of I want to reach $1 million in gross assets and I want to reach $8,500 per month of income, whatever that might look like, I'm pretty sure I need to double check. I didn't achieve either of those things, right? I didn't achieve it. And I did put actions in place. I did try to break it down. I did try and do the numbers, and it just didn't happen. So I had a generator, aka I did have the breakdown of how I was trying to do it. Did I have the consistency? I probably would call out that I would have it somewhat. It was quite good in a way. It was there. Not as consistent as we've been in the podcast, right? With the Mere Mortals, we've now been doing this 6 years. So that's pretty damn consistent. And time. Time is where maybe the piece that was missing in those particular goals, in that I set them to be an annual goal. I was I can't remember exactly how off of those numbers I was, but let's just say for posterity's sake, I was 50% away from them. And, I probably didn't actualize enough. Reality is how I was going to get there, and if the time that I had set myself available was going to be realistic. But again, now I look back, it's been many years since then, since 2019, and those trophies, if you will, have been achieved, and they were done through, again, the same sort of generators or different activities, It was through consistent effort, and it has just been time. And again, you will severely underestimate what you can do in a year. Sorry, you will overestimate what you can do in a year, and you'll severely underestimate what you can do in 10 years and beyond, right? It just happens. It's human nature. We want to make things fast. And there are people out there that will make it happen, right? You hear of the young billionaires or the young people making ridiculous amount of money through great ideas or lucky ideas. Part of it is luck. Part of it is being present at the right time, in the right place, or the right people. But if you want to just average it out of making some of these trophies that are generally what people go after, yep, you have to set a decent amount of time and reality to what's in front of us. Again, that's probably going to accelerate in life, and fine, so be it. But set some reality to it as well, right? So that way you don't get disheartened when you think you can achieve random trophies, fame, let's say, or success, whatever that may deem to you in a very, very short time. I would even say if you achieved a lot of trophies very quickly, aka without that equation happening, either because you didn't do a generator, right? You didn't do a habit, you just all of a sudden, um, for whatever reason, you're just amazing and you landed a quadruple backflip off the ground. You didn't do any habits for it. You're just literally genetically blessed with amazing calves and you did it and you became really famous from it. Maybe the byproduct that you're wanting of fame and money and status and whatnot is achieved. However, because the formula wasn't necessarily filled in or processed, or you didn't go that particular pathway, yes, you achieve it, but I feel like there will be some problems that come behind that. Again, not terrible. I'm not saying it's wrong if it was to happen, but something will be slightly off. I think you'd feel, and you can have people out there who are famous and have problems because of the fame that they reached. Potentially, it's because of the generators or the actions that they took didn't have the netted amount of time that should have been to give you the more safe feeling of these byproducts that are resulted in. Again, it's probably talking out my ass, to be honest. So, if those particular circumstances happen, look, one, good for you, but just in general, for us, general mere mortals, you really need a generator or some sort of action. You're going to need the consistency and you're going to need the damn time. So that's kind of the idea I wanted to put forward, right? Generators versus trophies. If you've got trophies, great, right? Awesome. You want to go and achieve X amount of fame, or you want to have these amount of followers, fucking fantastic. A bee doesn't go out there with the aim, right? The aim to go and create honey. They're actually pollinating, right? So I guess that's more of the concept I want to kind of leave us with, each and myself and my kids and anyone else listening to this, is aim for the generators, the actions, put in the concerted effort, be happy in that world. That might be, I wake up and I go train and I do a certain amount of movements for a certain amount of minutes, or walking or running or lift, whatever, right? Whatever. And it is in that effort that the ensuing potentially fame, potentially recognition, the health aspects, all of those things will be ticked off, if you will, done with enough consistency over a prolonged enough period of time. You'll achieve it. There's nothing else that you have to really worry about that. You also have to, I'll caveat this, you also have to do the right generators, the right actions in consistency and time to achieve the byproducts that you want. So there is good generators. There's also terrible generators. The terrible generators, of course, is if I was to say, hey, you want to be great at thinking or good on your feet and whatnot, and you go, you know what? A good suggestion would be then to do loads of really harmful drugs, but in the short term, I'll be super, super fantastic. No, right? Because over the long term, it ain't going to be very fun when you've absolutely cracked yourself out and there's no way back from it. So also find the generators that are long-term games that you can play with enough consistency and the time. You'll be successful in whatever the hell domain you want to do, and you'll be hitting those byproducts that you want. So that, take it from me, 27-year-old one, back in the day, thinking about these trophies. I look at now, moving forward in my life, I'm not setting realistic trophy goals per se. I'm not setting now, I want to be $100 million in gross assets or this particular thing per month. One aspect is there is enough now, I guess, in my life. But the other one is it's in the actions and the habits and the generators that I can think about. Sleeping well, right? So it's the how much sleep can I get, and what are the actions and the habits that I can do? Because from that is a key cornerstone that'll enable me to do X, Y, Z and be a good husband and be a good dad, etc. Look for those. Look for the generators. If that aspect is a bit of a troubling thing for you, right? Shit, come and talk to us. Come and have a conversation. Go and look it up. Google it, ChatGPT it, AI it, whatever. Find the habits. Play around with it. Especially if you're younger. Play. Experiment. Try out the things that are the habits that you can lock into that are giving you the positive things. Do it consistently, do it with enough time, get all those goody byproducts, and you'll be absolutely chuffed with yourself because it'll all be coming from the generators and getting you those trophies. For now, Immortal Lights, I hope you are well wherever you are in the world. One out.